So you started playing Star Citizen, you like it, you have your starter ship, and now you want to buy a cool, nice, big ship. This is then the video for you, because I'll explain you how to do it the right way, how to get the best bang per buck and the best insurance possible, which if you don't know how to do it and you just go and buy a ship, you will be missing out. So do stay for this one. As always, do remember to subscribe to the channel, especially if you appreciate my take on these things and the content I'm doing. And also remember, you can play Star Citizen right now completely for free. The IAE Expo means that until a couple more days left, you can just start playing without spending a single cent. Follow the links below. Use the referral code when creating your account, because if you end up buying a game package, if you end up liking Star Citizen and want to play further on, having created the account with a referral code will give you 5,000 credits of in-game money, which is always nice to have, and I do appreciate it if you use a referral. So when you come here, robertspaceindustries.com, you will go to a pledge store. Here you will go to the ship packages, and the one that's being suggested, because this one being promoted, $72. We have the Sulin, which a lot of people like. Personally, I don't think it's that great of a deal, and the ship is kind of a little bit complicated for a starter ship with an elevator inside. Yeah, not what I would want to drive around all day long. Definitely not what I'd like in a starter ship. View all game packages, and here's where we start with the real suggestions. So you liked playing, you want to buy Star Citizen, that's a game package. Game package is the game plus a ship. My advice, start with this. Go with the Aurora. Now, this one, the Sulin, does have something neat, which is it has lifetime insurance, which as of right now, people will tell you makes no difference, and it doesn't. But this is CIG. We never know what oddball they throw next. And usually people that have been playing for a while, they will like to have lifetime insurance, especially because if you do things right, you can have it without spending any money extra at all, maybe even saving money. So in terms of starting to play this, go with the Aurora MR. It has a bed which is necessary to log out. Of course, so does the Sulin, but for quite a bit of a different price. But with this one, you will start playing, you will be fine, and it's a nice little ship. And if you want to upgrade it later on, sure, you can upgrade, but you will be missing on that LTI. Now, if you have your game package, and let's say you want to spend a little bit more money, say what a typical AAA game costs, and you want to have a nicer ship, my advice is not going with the Sulin. My advice is going for the Avenger Titan. Now, this is a great ship. It's actually one of the best ships in game, bar any kind of price. But you will always want to have a Titan in your fleet of ships. Now, you bought your ship, you bought your starter, you like this, and you want to spend more money. As always, be extremely careful with the marketing tricks, with the strategies. They're excellent at this. You really don't need it. But it is true that if you're going to be doing this for a long time and you don't want to mess with the wipes and so on, and you want a bigger ship, I would avoid pretty much the Cuddy Black. Spending real money doesn't make any sense. You can earn this ship in game within a day. You can earn this one in game within a day as well. Same goes for something like this, like the Hornet. Now this is a little bit more expensive, and here's where some people say, you know what, I can afford it, so how should I go about this? Well, first of all, try to have that LTI, that lifetime insurance. The Sulin has lifetime insurance right now, but you have some more options, especially if you want to have something cheaper. My advice would be going with the Cutter Scout that it's being offered right now. Where is that thing? So if you look at the different price ranges, and this is what it's typically called an LTI token. So an LTI token is like an affordable ship that has lifetime insurance, and that means that you will be upgrading from that token to whatever ship you want to get. So you go and you spend your $45. Now you have a little Cutter Scout, which makes no sense at all, because you can buy this playing an hour in game. But here is your token with lifetime insurance, all right? This is what you will drag along. the moment you start upgrading, the best insurance is the one that remains. So now is the moment in which you go here to ship upgrades and you start with your token. We start with the cutter, right? Cutter. And it's the Cutter Scout, right? Okay, Cutter Scout is actually 50 bucks. Here already, you paid 45 bucks because you paid War Bond, but the ship is valued at 50 bucks for CIG. So here is where you first see, okay, 5 bucks saved already, nice. Now, what ship is it that I'm upgrading to? I already have an Aurora or a Titan or a Suling, whatever it is that you were buying. This is gonna be our second ship. I mean, you could easily do this CCUing, upgrading from your Suling, right? If you started with your Suling, right? You start this way, you will have that LTI. You can do the same thing, right? But in this case, let's just stick with the cutter as our token, as our LTI token. I would avoid spending money on one of the easier to buy ships. And if you want to spend a few more bucks, then what are the options? Again, all of this stuff, no point in spending money on this. If you want to have like a bigger ship, yeah, it's going to be more expensive. But then again, it will be a lot more useful. I mean, man, even the Cuddy Black is as big as I would go in terms of CCUing my starter ship. I mean, you do you. It's all good. But it gets to a point where you start each wipe with a massive ship. Here we have our first our first War Bond. So if I'm going for an even more expensive ship, this would still be the first one I buy because I'm already saving 15 bucks by upgrading first to this one. So now I have a C1, okay? Now I have this, and and as you see, you can only go up, so I keep on upgrading. Freelancer Max, is this like a decent, second ship to buy? Yeah, you could say that. My advice would be, I mean, if you went down the rabbit hole this far, I would go with a not the Prospector. I would go with the Taurus, but I would still stop first at this other CCU, which will save me a little bit more money, 10 more bucks. Now I have a Prospector, right? So now I have a Prospector, and I keep on moving up to my target of my first big cool ship, which would be the Taurus. Now, but with the Prospector, I have, well, I'm skipping on that other CCU, and here's where I CCU from the Prospector to the Taurus. So this way, I saved a few bucks. What is it? 10, 15, 20 bucks. So I saved about 25, so maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less. But I saved a little bit of money. And I have my Constellation Taurus with LTI, with lifetime insurance. Again, doesn't mean a damn thing, but maybe one day it will. And again, usually people that play Star Citizen for a longer time, they will try to have their ships, and especially the larger ones or the ones they're more attached to, with lifetime insurance. 190 bucks, that's a lot of money for a fake video game ship, but again, it's maybe not 190, maybe it's 170, okay, with the different LTIs, the different CCUs, war bonds that you went on spending on. That would be my advice. This is a lot better than your C1. This is going to be a lot better than pretty much anything. Why is it so good? Well, several reasons. You're looking at a ship here. Where is it? The Constellation Taurus is a ship that can do decent cargo, nice cargo, 170 SCU of cargo. It has, of course, the bed and all of the stuff that you would expect, but it's also a tough ship that is handy. It has 2 entry points, which often saves the day. You have 2 size 5 hard points for laser cannons. You have 2 size 4 fixed. These are size 5, but they have fixed gimbal, so it's downgraded to 4. Eventually, in theory, it should get 5, which would make it even better. But that would be the ship I would recommend. You can have cargo, you can do cargo runs, you can do combat. You can do the two most cool, useful things, the ones that make you the most money. Would I buy the Vulture? Hell no. Buy this piece of crap in-game if you want to make that mistake. Would I buy the Freelancer? No, really. For that money, just doesn't make sense. What about the Prospector? I heard you can make a lot of money mining. No, that's no longer the case anymore. So my advice would be Constellation Taurus all day long. Well, what about the Andromeda? Well, the Andromeda is very similar, but the thing about the Andromeda is that, hell, you're looking at a ship. And what about the Zeus? Well, these don't have the weapons. I mean, you need those large cannons for the combat beacons. That is the way in which you make the most money. Or the bounties. If very hard, very high risk targets, or the ERTs, those, you want to have those cannons. The second ship in line would be the Corsair. This is a very cool ship, but really it has very little on the Taurus. Yes, it is cool, it looks awesome, it has a little bit more firepower, but honestly, for the money, the Taurus is a lot better. Corsair is fun, I like it a lot, but yeah. 400i, no. Mercury Star Runner. People love this thing. It is a piece of crap. I have a dedicated video explaining how much of a piece of crap it is. And as you go, moving on, there's really not a whole lot that I see making any sense in spending money up until you get to the big ship. $400, Hercules C2. Hercules C2 has the best cargo in game right now. Yes, there's the other ship, but this is the one that is useful. And you have decent guns. You have 2 size 5 guns, and you have 2 size 3 shields, which make this thing a beast for combat as well. Man, that's basically it. And the cool thing about it is if you ended up here, and again, if you were smart about it and you followed the advice from previous videos of mine, you're not spending this amount of money. That makes no sense whatsoever. You've been buying all of those CCUs and saving 50, even 70% on that. And yes, be patient, don't rush it. And again, with an Avenger Titan, I buy this in just a few days. Yes, it is still a skill-based game, but if you want to have that, this would be the ship to have, right? From the point of the $180 range to the more expensive range, I wouldn't go beyond this. And the cool thing about this one is if they eventually end up having a nice gold pass to the 600i, and the 600i ends up being the awesome ship we know it can be, well, maybe one of these days you get yourself a Warbond CCU, which for maybe $20-30 more, you end up with this one. And that's as far as I would honestly go. Really makes no sense. Karak, you will never fly that thing. Merchantman, we will never see that. And who knows when we see any of these other concepts that are still floating around. So yeah, you can spend stupid money. I mean, if you want to spend just a little bit stupid money, Constellation Taurus is the one I would suggest going for. You want to spend a little bit more and you can have that disposable income, yes, Hercules C2 is the ship to go. The rest of these things, buy those in-game. Makes no sense to spend real money on that. Guys, that's going to be all for now. See you in our next video. Take care.